We're out here at early evening in the UF IFAS Leon County Extension demonstration garden. We're over here in our orchard, right next to our chicken coop. Our chickens get lots of love from all of our 4-H kids. So we've got a good variety of fruit that we can grow here in North Florida. And let's check on what we've harvested and what there's still left to get for this season. We'll start here with our figs. We had a really good season with our figs this year. We picked a whole lot, and the birds got plenty too. They were delicious. These were a nice purple fig. And then up here we have our giant hickory, and this gives shade to some of our fruit trees here that would like a little bit of shade, or we can experiment with some more shade here to see what people can grow at their home gardens, because in Tallahassee we have lots of big overstory trees. So here in front of the coop to our left we have one of our olive trees, and we've realized that these guys want a lot more sun, so they haven't fruited for us yet. And then our loquats, these chickens love that the loquat is so close to them, because sometimes the fruit fall in there and they get to eat them. These are a nice early in the spring production, and they're a nice evergreen tree. We've got another olive here. Here we've got our 2 pawpaws. They pollinate each other. These are the largest fruit native to North America. And we've got a good little crop going here. They're a nice understory tree, and we've got more fruit this year than we've had in past years. You can see them up there. They're usually in clusters of 2 or 3, and they'll turn a nice yellow kind of banana color. And they're not typically grown commercially because they're in the custard apple family, and they can bruise pretty easily. But they're really good. They've got about the texture of a mango and the flavor of a banana. These ones are even bigger over on this tree. We'll be watching these. We might put up our wildlife camera over on these trees and see what kind of raccoons or other wildlife will take advantage of these. And hopefully we can get some too. And over here we're clearing for our new and improved longleaf pine ecosystem. We were clearing out the underbrush here. So that's let in a lot more light over here to this side of the garden. Here we've got another fig. And you'll notice this is a younger tree, but even with our bigger figs, we like to keep them nice and short so that we can reach all the produce. Over here we have our beautiful mulberry tree. This is a early spring, kind of mid-spring fruit. Really delicious. It's a voracious grower. It can even grow in a little bit of shade, as you can see here. And it can get really big. We keep ours pruned really nicely, but it can grow, 6 to 12 feet in a year, but we just keep it pruned nice and short so that we can reach all the fruit. And birds also love these. We have over here our pomegranates. So we got a couple fruit this year. I haven't had a huge production on them yet, but here's one. We'll see what kind of flavor we get off of those. We really like them because they're a really beautiful tree that you can incorporate into your landscape. And they produce these really nice red, almost coral color flowers. So some of these trees are a little bit younger, so they're not producing quite yet. This is one of our pears. These are our persimmons, and they're a couple different varieties. They are between astringent and the non-astringent. So astringent, means it's pretty tart up until they're very ripe. So you have to eat them when they're kind of squishy. But the non-astringent varieties are, you can eat them, a lot sooner when they're still sweet, even when they're hard. So you can tell that there's different shapes to them as well. These ones are kind of more oblong. And then our pears, or peaches and nectarines here. These ones are pretty, they're pretty high maintenance trees, I would say, here in North Florida. They require, you know, a lot of pruning. You want to keep that nice open vase shape that these have. And again, you can see that these have been kept pretty short. These ones back here are also peaches and nectarines. And then they do tend to get a lot of, insects on them. I think we just saw a hummingbird pass right by us. That's pretty cool. And now we're going down into our citrus section. We've got a lot of different citrus that we can grow here. We've got quite a few Meyer Lemons. This one's a Meyer Lemon, tons of fruit. Just a couple more months here, we'll have ripe fruit on this one. And then we also have, let's see, our kumquat here. And as we get closer to the road, we've got a couple of different varieties. And you can see some of them favor growing taller than others. This one here grows pretty tall. So if you're trying to grow them for a home orchard, you know, where you can pick them all at your own height, try to get ones that are on a dwarfing rootstock if possible. Here's our tangelo. That's a great one. That'll be really delicious. The kids will love eating that. In our horticulture club and all of our other 4-H clubs. Another Meyer Lemon. Oh, and this is a citrus page. So this is one of those mini hybrids. There's lots of different hybrids in citrus. So it's not technically an orange, but it's called citrus page. It's really delicious, wonderful. You might notice down here, we've got a little bit of fruit drop, and that's okay. With citrus, you can they will drop a lot of their fruit if they realize that they don't have enough nutrients to support it. Nutrients or water, or it's a stressful year. This one is our grapefruit. I think this is our grapefruit flame. These will just keep getting bigger and bigger. They'll get pretty big and delicious. And you'll see here, to support some of our heavy branches, we get these Y branches from the woods, and we use it to support our heavy branches so we can get more fruit off of our trees. And this is our pumpkin tangerine. It's delicious, peels really easily. It's wonderful. This is a satsuma. It's an owari satsuma. Delicious, wonderful. And these, you know, they'll be winter, November to February, in about that time frame, all of these. This is another grapefruit. These tend to get pretty big. And we'll walk up and see some of our newest plantings from this year. We put in a couple of plums. Even though they're like nectarines and peaches, they are still really delicious. So we wanted to plant some. Oh, and before we get to those, we've got our mayhaw. This is a native fruit tree. It's pretty young, so we don't have any fruit on it yet. But it'll get there. Here's an interesting one. It's a jujube. Looks like we got some flowers on it. That's beautiful. So we'll see when we get those. I'm not too sure about this one. I haven't grown it before. And here are 2 young plums. These ones, they produce fruit this year. But what we did was we went ahead and pulled all the fruit that it made off of it because we wanted it to grow nice, sturdy roots. So it could focus on growing that support system, because you can see how thin and weak these branches are. if we were to let it grow fruits, you know, even though plums are pretty small, they can get pretty heavy with all that weight, it might break those branches. So it's that delayed gratification. This is another plum. These two plums need pollinators, so they pollinate for one another. And finally, here's our pineapple guava, another great one that you can use in the landscape and also as a fruit. Thanks for joining us on this evening walk here, and we'll stop here with the cicadas and check out our sweet pecans.